Hello everyone, and welcome to the Dice Commando YouTube channel. I'm Andrew, with you here as always. This is Go Again, a fabulous video cast covering the trading card game Flesh and Blood. This video and others like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. Please show your support with a like and subscribe, and be sure to hit the bell notification icon so you don't miss any new videos. If you want to get involved with the channel, consider becoming a channel member. There are many benefits to channel membership, including access to our Discord, exclusive deck tech and strategy videos, and the opportunity to help create channel content. I want to sincerely thank all our channel members, as I truly couldn't do this without your support. You guys rock. Go Commando.
Hey Fab folks, welcome back to Go Again, a fabulous cast. This is the third installment of Ranger Week here on Dice Commando. Today we're talking about cost curve. It's well established that the general cost curve is 1 for 3, with caveats of course. Us Ranger players, we have, our saving grace is that we have a higher cost curve. We've seen that our Ranger has maintained the best cost curve in the game due to the difficulty of playing cards. The drawback, of course, being that it's saying by the bonus. Oh, hold on, just for a sec, guys. Oh, hey, Josh, how's it going, man? Yeah, dude, wives be tripping sometimes. Yeah. Oh, me? Yeah, I'm good. Just here explaining the Ranger cost curve advantage versus the other heroes, given Ranger's difficulty in playing cards. Yeah, I've seen Light Warrior. Oh, Prism too. Yeah. Oh, so yeah, but I mean they have 0 4s and 1 5 also, but they can't play those directly from hand. Oh, they can. Okay, okay, they have that part, but you have to put a card from hand into soul to do that, right? Oh, that's a May, huh? Okay, so they can just play 0 4s and 1 from hands regardless with no issues? Right, yeah. And Sir Boltyn can then turn that into a Go Again? And Prism can, use that as a resource? Yeah, that seems pretty good. But I mean, Okay, yeah. Thanks for the heads up, man. Thanks. All right, folks, just having a little fun there in the intro. I thought that might be kind of a fun way to prove my point. So, I mean, this is not really a power creep discussion because I don't think that's entirely it. But Ranger had a very distinct cost curve advantage overall, right? Forever, there'd always been, some cards that challenge that. I mean, Scar for a Scar being one of them, and the 0 4s and stuff like that. We've seen plenty of 0 4s out there, but overall, in terms of class-specific stuff, they were largely the exception to the rule. We've always had, if you compare leg tap to Sikkim shot, that is, that's always been a direct comparison that's out there. You could always have made the argument that, well, leg tap only defends for 2. I think that's a weak argument, but at least it, tries to help explain, kind of overall. But if you look at overall Ranger's cost curve, she has more 0 4s and more 1 5, or at least prior to Monarch, she had more 0 4s and more 1 5s in terms of red pitch than any other hero in terms of access to it. And the trade-off there was, of course, that you couldn't just windmill slam them down on the table. You had to strategically place them and fire them accordingly. So I think most people accepted that. Obviously, it wasn't overpowered. As I said in our last episode, it was one of those things where I think if Ranger was better, meaning I think if she just had a different curve, or she had a better curve, or she had more access to the different tools, I think she'd probably be broken. So I think it's okay to be where we are. But then Monarch hit, and that was one of the harder things I think for a lot of us Ranger people to swallow was, Ranger kind of had their distinct thing, and then come Monarch, the light heroes specifically, they got a ton of tools. And I think some of the trade-off there in terms of like a Rising Solar Tide or an Illuminate, right? I'm just talking like the basic ones. The trade-off there, I think, was, well, it's kept in check because only the light heroes can play them. Which is fair. Kind of, right? Because only Azalea can play the arrows. And again, like a Rising Solar Tide, if it hits, it goes into your soul, which actually fuels you more resource. A different type of resource, granted, but it fuels you more resources. So I think that the biggest hit that, right, again, we know we talked about in episode 1 of this week, Ranger got a lot of new tools. But I think the biggest hit to Ranger in Monarch came from the fact that a lot of other heroes, specifically the light heroes, but I mean, we saw some other pretty good stuff. Specifically, the main attack that they had is that the Ranger cost curve was effectively hijacked. And it's, the drawbacks there aren't, for light heroes, the drawbacks of those 0-4s, those 1-5s aren't really drawbacks, right? And this is one of those things that is going to have to change for the next Ranger, or even for Azalea going forward, right? If we look at kind of the current card pool overall, even from just a generics or what certain people have access to standpoint, there are a fair amount of Exude Competence, right? Like, that's a really good 0-4. There are a lot of 0-4s there that don't require Arsenal. There are a lot of 1-5s. There are a ton of either direct or indirect, meaning you have to trigger something else to do it, but there are a lot of 2-for-7s that almost everybody has a 2-for-7. Azalea, she's capped right now. Azalea's arrows are capped at 1-5. That's it. Right now, there's no argument that she overall probably has the best on-hit effect in game, right? So I think that that's a bit of a balancer. But like I alluded to, in the next edition, do we just have, let's say in Kingdoms we get another Ranger. Does he or she or they get a 1-6? Probably not, right? Because then again, like I've mentioned, that yellow would then be a 1-5, which is pretty huge. But then how is that any different than what, right? Because let's not forget that a lot of the light hero stuff is yellow pitch, right? A lot of their functional stuff yellow pitch, and most of Azalea's red. So, I mean, I think that that's going to be one of the challenges that she's going to, specifically Azalea, but Ranger in general is going to face. And that's why I think that in the next iteration of Ranger, whatever that may end up looking like, is almost certainly going to have to focus on a go wide strategy. I think that's really the only way that Ranger can try and claw back into this. And then the question gets asked, can they do it as well as Chane can? Now, Chane's kind of a different argument because he certainly has another cost in terms of access to his extra cards. But I think that that's going to have to be the future, because I don't think, right, Rangers, I mean, it was going to happen eventually, right, with power creep and stuff like that Rangers advantageous, I'm not saying the best, but Rangers advantageous cost curve that it had held for 2 sets has now been at least challenged, right? And I think about more than just at least challenged, right? But she's been usurped as having the most overall advantageous cost curve. And the only way to get that back is to creep into it, right? And I don't think that should happen, nor will happen, right? So I think that the future of Ranger, in terms of new cards being printed, is probably going to exist in more of the rapid fire strategy, right? And it makes sense, right? Azalea's big arrow. The next one we see will probably be some sort of go wide strategy, probably bringing in some crazy new mechanic, as we've seen like all these, in Monarch, in Kingdoms, who the heck knows, or beyond, right? There'll be some other crazy mechanic. So anyway, that's just kind of my take today, just kind of musing on cost curve and losing it. And I mean, you look at, there's really no argument that the light heroes have the cost curve advantage that they do. And, do you want to play? Yeah, I mean, being able to just on a bad turn throw down a 1-for-5 or a 0-for-4, whereas Azalea can't necessarily do that. It takes a lot away from her, so that's a big challenge there. So anyway, folks, that's really it for today. Just kind of sharing my musings on cost curve, how light kind of jacked her cost curve, and her path out of that's got to be really to do something different, or risk the fallout of that. So anyway, folks, thanks for joining me today. I want to remind everybody again, my LGS Gongai games, you can go check them out online at www.gongai.com. Use code Commando10 at checkout for 10% off your purchase of anything in the store, not just Fab product, but that is up there for all Dice Commando followers. All you gotta do is punch in the code. Then my buddy over at Fab Foundry, he's where I get my singles from. He does a great job. I got some the other day, and it was just a couple rares and some commons, and he had them packaged well. And you go use that guy. He's a good guy. And when you do, use the code below. It gives me a little kickback, which I can use to keep buying more of my fun stuff. So thanks, folks, for joining me. We've got deck techs for the rest of the week. That's right. Tomorrow we have a constructed or excuse me, tomorrow is the Blitz deck tech, and then after that we have the Closet Constructed deck tech, and that'll cap off Ranger Week. So thanks, folks, for joining me. I'm really enjoying this week. I hope you are as well. If nothing else, go Commando.